Well, hello and welcome to the Cactus Cowboy YouTube channel. My name is Dave Rose. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to take a look at some 78 RPM records. I got a phone call early this morning from the manager of a local thrift shop. She explained that they had gotten in 2 large boxes of 78s. They have no success in selling them at all. Would I care to come over and pick them up? So I jumped in my truck, drove over to the thrift shop, loaded them up, and here we are. We'll take a look. Okay, got these in the back of the truck. We'll take a quick look at the 2 boxes. Some in sleeves or envelopes, most not. And there's the other box. Looks like probably close to 200 records. There we go. Looks like it was Dad's records. Okay, I got all those records cleaned. What did I find? There were about 210 records in all. About a dozen were trashed because they were broken or chipped. Cleaned all of them in the sink with lukewarm soapy water and a brush. Had to remove numerous of those pesky little stickers on labels. That was a chore. But looking at the records, vast majority of them are from the mid to late 1930s on labels like Decca, Victor, Brunswick, Vocalion, Bluebird, and they're mostly big band and swing, and they're in remarkably good condition. Although they do have surface scuffs from the way they were stored, most of the records appear to have been seldom played and generally well taken care of. So the few that I played really sound good. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few of these. I'm not going to show you all 200 of them. That would be too time consuming, but I'll give you some of the highlights and a good overview of what's in this small collection. Okay, let's take a look at some of these. Larry Adler, Romanian Rhapsody, written by George Enesco. Haven't heard classical? You've heard Larry Adler playing it on the virtuoso harmonica. Ambrose and his orchestra, Decca label, late 1930s. Got a few Andrews sisters in here. This is with Jimmy Dorsey and his orchestra. There's another, Jimmy Dorsey. Nice work if you can get it, the Andrews sisters. Fred Astaire, They All Laughed, with Johnny Green and his orchestra. Gene Autry, Here Comes Santa Claus. This would be from the 40s. Charlie Barnett and his orchestra, Cherokee. The one Count Basie in the lot, Texas Shuffle, Count Basie and his orchestra. Not familiar with this label or this artist, Eddie Beale Trio. Someone's Rocking My Dreamboat. Bunny Berrigan Orchestra, All God's Children Got Rhythm. Blue Baron on the Bluebird label. Henry Busey, got a couple of his records in here. There's the other one. Will You Remember Tonight Tomorrow? Oh, there's 3 of them. Used to be colorblind. Several Cab Calloway. Here is the Jumpin' Jive on Vocalion label. Chili Con Conga, more Cab Calloway. And the third one, Ut Daze, is Reggie Childs and his orchestra on the Decca label. This is known as the Sunburst Decca label. Larry Clinton and his orchestra, Cry Baby Cry, Victor label. Bob Crosby, got another 3 or 4 Bob Crosby in here. This is just one of them. Honky Tonk Train. There were 32 2 Bing Crosby 78s in this lot. I'm only going to show 3, showing the different labels. This is Wrap Your Troubles in Dreams on the Bluebird label. And then most of them are on the Decca label. Never in a Million Years, that's the earlier Sunburst or Sunrise label. And here's the later block letter label on Decca. You Must Have Been a Beautiful Baby, Bing Crosby. Man, this guy must have sold millions and millions of records. Find them every time I look at 78s. Frank Daly and his Stop and Go Orchestra. Not familiar with him. Unfortunate scratch on that label, but the disc looks pretty good. Eddie DeLange and his orchestra, Jump Jumps here. Emery Deutsch and his orchestra. Not familiar with this guy. Al Donahue, Stop Beating Around the Mulberry Bush on Vocalion label. There's a lot of Jimmy Dorsey and Tommy Dorsey in here, probably between the two bands, maybe 15 to 20 records. Here's Jimmy Dorsey, Let's Stop the Clock. And here's the Soul Duke Ellington record in the lot, La Dee Doody Doo with Ivy Anderson on vocal, Brunswick label. A lot of Shep Fields in this lot. There's about 12 to 15 of them. I'll only show a couple. This is on the early Bluebird label, Blue and Buff. There's A Lull in My Life, Shep Fields and his Rippling Rhythm Orchestra. There's another Shep Fields on the later Bluebird label, Teacher's Pet. A couple from Ted Fiorito and his orchestra. This is Vieni, sorry if I butcher pronunciation. Yeah, How Many Rhymes Can You Get? Benny Goodman, there are quite a few Benny Goodmans in here. Delighted to see that. This is on the earlier Victor Scroll label, The Glory of Love, Benny Goodman and his orchestra. Here's a later one, could be late 30s, early 40s, I'm guessing, Scatterbrain, Benny Goodman and his orchestra, on the red Columbia label. And here's another Benny Goodman on the Victor label. I've Got a Date with the Dream. Glenn Gray, there are a couple Glenn Grays in here. This is Let Her Go. Jimmy Greer, there's a couple Jimmy Greers. University of Southern California, I guess that's a march or a fight song. And Jimmy Greer again, You Leave Me Breathless. The Soul Lionel Hampton in the lot, The Object of My Affection on the Victor label. The Soul Harmonicats in the lot, Malaguena. There's several Horace Heidt and the Brigadiers on the Brunswick label in here. This is just one of them. Woody Herman, Decca label, Woodchopper's Ball. Bob Hope and Shirley Ross, Two Sleepy People, Decca label. Harry James, Here Comes the Night. Notable that the vocals by Frank Sinatra, early Frank Sinatra before he began his solo career. And the flip side is Feet Dragon Blues, an instrumental. Dick Juergens on Green Dolphin Street. Art Castle and his Castles in the Sky, Hell's Bells. Actually spun this record just a few minutes ago. It is really good. I like it. And the flip side, Down in the Alley and Over the Fence. Sammy Kaye, there's a number of Sammy Kaye records in here. This is on Vocalion label. Swing is Here to Sway. Hal Kemp and his orchestra, I Still Love to Kiss You Goodnight. Henry King and his orchestra, You Came to My Rescue. Kay Kaiser, there's a number of Kay Kaiser in here, most on the Brunswick label. Here's Don't Let That Moon Get Away. There's a later Kay Kaiser on Columbia, When the Roses Bloom Again. Jimmy Livingston and his orchestra, Just a Simple Melody, not familiar with him. On Brunswick label, Two Sleepy People, Ella Logan and Hoagie Carmichael. Here's the one and only Mellotone label record in the lot, Vincent Lopez and his orchestra, Nice Work If You Can Get It. Now I'm showing what's mostly marked as A-side when it's evident on the label. In this case, however, this is marked the B-side. However, this Sugar Blues was a huge hit for Clyde McCoy, and the A-side is Tear It Down. Strip Polka, Johnny Mercer. The Merry Macs, Ferdinand the Bull. Dawn of a New Day, Johnny Messner and his Music Box Band. Lots of Glenn Miller in here, probably about 12 to 15. They are all on the Bluebird label, original pressings from the mid to late 30s, and they're all in really nice shape. In the Mood, very, very loved and recognized tune here. Stairway to the Stars, Tuxedo Junction, and that's just a few of many Glenn Miller records. Russ Morgan Manor, Toodaloo. Red Norvo, sold Red Norvo in the lot, Just You, Just Me. George Olson, Somewhere with Somebody Else. Will Osborne, In the Still of the Night. Polka Dots Harmonica Band, Wonderful One. Dick Powell, I'll Hitch My Wagon to a Star. Martha Raye, Once in a While, Columbia label. Primo Scala, Banjo and Accordion Orchestra with the keynotes. This guy is from England. I've got a couple of his records, should be interesting. Jan Savitt and his High Toppers, You Got Me. This is one of several in the lot. Got a few Artie Shaw in here on Bluebird label. This is Jungle Drums. Traffic Jam, Artie Shaw. And on the Victor label, which incidentally is associated with Bluebird, Adios Mariquita Linda, Artie Shaw. The sole Frank Sinatra record, with the exception of him on vocals on the Harry James. This is Mighty Lack of Rose. The one Claude Thornhill record in the lot, Autumn Nocturne. This would be from the 40s. Dick Todd, Are You in the Mood for Mischief? Bluebird label. Pinky Tomlin in Old Oklahoma. I'm not familiar with this artist. Orrin Tucker, Lydia the Tattooed Lady. Tommy Tucker, Time, The Man That Comes Around. Rudy Vallee and his Connecticut Yankees, The Old Sal Song. Several Chick Webb records in here. Ella Fitzgerald got her start with Chick Webb and his orchestra as a very young teenager, and she's featured on vocals on a few of these. This particular record has the Webb Trio on vocals. this side, and Louis Jordan on side B. There's Wacky Dust. You thought drug songs started in the 1960s with the Grateful Dead? Well, think again. This is Wacky Dust from the 1930s. And this features Ella Fitzgerald on vocals. Delighted to find this one. Spinning the Web on the flip side. Tisket a Tasket, a well-known song of vocals by Ella Fitzgerald. And on the flip, Liza. And that's a little scratched up, not sure of that title. I Love Every Move You Make. That's it for Chick Webb. Ted Weems, Hey Babe Hey. Paul Whiteman and his Swing Wing, Aunt Hagar's Blues. Couple Kitty records, look at this. Hollywood Recording Guild, Mickey Mouse Club March, Mouseketeers March, HRG Orchestra. And on Columbia, non-breakable indicates it's plastic or vinyl, Harry Babbitt, My ABC Song. Flip is Parade of the Wooden Soldiers. Well, that's it. That's a overview of the records. Not all of them, of course, but many of them. Well, thanks for joining me for this look at 2 boxes of freebie 78s. This was essentially a dumpster rescue mission because they would have been tossed out had I not gone and picked them up. And as it turns out, there's a lot of great music in there, and the records overall in very nice condition. Nothing real unusual, rare, or uncommon, but a lot of great music. Delighted to add these to my collection.